Imagine eating a duck egg with a half-formed baby bird inside, or driving without even wearing a helmet, and it's all perfectly legal. But in America, jail time. Stay tuned as we dive into the 9 shocking things totally fine in Vietnam, but illegal in the USA. You won't believe number 6. Hey travelers, welcome back to our channel, your go-to channel for uncovering the wildest and most fascinating cultures around the globe. Today we're taking you to Vietnam, where things get weird, in the best way. This Southeast Asian gem has some of the most mind-blowing customs and laws you've ever heard of. From bizarre foods to outlandish street practices, what's completely fine here might get you fined, or worse, in America. Ready to jump in? Let's go. 1. Eating balut, duck egg with embryo. Imagine this. It's a lively evening in Hanoi. Neon signs flicker as street vendors shout to attract passersby. You walk up to a small food stall surrounded by curious diners, intrigued by the steamy aroma wafting from a pot of eggs. This isn't just any egg. It's balut, a fertilized duck egg with a partially developed embryo inside. The vendor expertly cracks open the egg, revealing a mix of soft yolk and tender duckling. They sprinkle salt, pepper, and lime juice on top before handing it to you with a spoon. With every bite, the textures change, from creamy yolk to chewy bits of cartilage. It's a roller coaster for your palate. In Vietnam, balut isn't just food, it's tradition. Parents teach their kids to enjoy it, and locals share it as a late-night snack over beers. There's even a belief that it boosts stamina and virility. Contrast this with America, where the mere concept of eating a developing embryo would spark outrage. Animal rights groups would protest, and health inspectors would have a field day. To most Westerners, this dish represents an unthinkable cultural boundary. Would you brave the taste, or does the idea make you squirm? 2. Crossing streets like a game of chicken. Close your eyes and picture this. A seemingly endless stream of motorbikes, bicycles, and cars flowing through the streets of Ho Chi Minh City. No traffic lights, no stop signs, just the constant hum of engines. To cross the street, you step off the curb and walk, steadily, without hesitation. It's as if the vehicles around you have a sixth sense, weaving and swerving like a synchronized dance. The first time I did this, my instincts screamed to run back to safety. But here's the trick. Never stop, never sprint. Locals call it the confidence walk. And it works because drivers anticipate your movements. It's trust in action. In America, jaywalking laws and crosswalk systems prioritize pedestrian safety. Stepping into traffic would earn you a fine, or worse, an angry driver's horn. The structured system makes crossing streets a routine, uneventful experience. In Vietnam, it's a rite of passage for every traveler. Once you've mastered it, you'll feel invincible. Could you trust the chaos enough to take that first step? 3. Helmet-free freedom. It's rush hour in Vietnam, and the streets are packed with motorbikes. Amid the sea of vehicles, you notice something surprising. Many riders are helmetless. Families of 4 crowd onto a single bike, and kids cling to their parents, their hair flying in the wind. While helmets are legally required, enforcement is, let's say, flexible. In the countryside, it's not uncommon to see entire communities riding without protection. One time, I saw a motorbike with an entire family, mom, dad, 2 kids, and their dog. No helmets, but plenty of smiles. Even more astonishing, they were balancing a stack of boxes taller than the rider. In America, this scene would result in immediate police intervention. Helmet laws, especially for minors, are strictly enforced, and violations lead to fines. Safety first is the mantra. In Vietnam, it's a mix of practicality and resilience. Helmets are used when convenient, but life often moves too quickly to follow every rule. Would you hop on for the ride? 4. Drinking snake wine. Picture this, a dimly lit shop filled with glass jars. Inside each jar, a snake coils in rice wine, its eyes frozen in time. The liquid glows amber under the light, giving it an almost mystical aura. Snake wine is more than a drink. It's a tonic steeped in tradition. Locals believe it improves strength, stamina, and even libido. The process involves submerging a venomous snake in rice wine. The alcohol neutralizes the venom, turning it into a bold, earthy drink. I tried it at a roadside stall in rural Vietnam. The vendor handed me a shot glass and said, "Good for the heart." I took a sip. It was strong, fiery, and slightly herbal. A group of men cheered me on, clearly amused by my reaction. In America, snake wine would face numerous barriers: animal rights concerns, FDA regulations, and health safety rules. The thought of preserving snakes in alcohol might even spark protests. But in Vietnam, it's a testament to bravery and an experience locals take pride in sharing. Would you take the shot or pass on the adventure? Think these are wild? Just wait until you hear about karaoke sessions that can rival full-blown concerts. Stay tuned. Five, the culture of loud karaoke. Love singing? In Vietnam, karaoke nights spill into the streets at all hours. It's not just entertainment, it's a community event. People celebrate birthdays, weddings, or even just a casual evening by belting out their favorite songs, often with booming speakers and a lively crowd. Here's the scene. Picture a small neighborhood in Hanoi. The air buzzes with the smell of grilled skewers from street vendors. Suddenly, a familiar melody erupts from a corner shop, where speakers the size of refrigerators blast an emotional Vietnamese ballad. A group of friends, slightly tipsy on rice wine, cheers each other on while neighbors, young and old, join in with enthusiastic clapping. It's not just about singing well, it's about being bold, passionate, and connected. The songs range from Vietnamese folk classics to international hits like My Heart Will Go On, delivered with a mix of heartfelt sincerity and off-key hilarity. But here's the catch. In America, this would be a major noise violation. Local ordinances on quiet hours would have police knocking at your door before you could finish the first verse. And let's be real, karaoke in America is often confined to designated bars or private rooms, making Vietnam's street karaoke feel like an unfiltered celebration of life. Storytime. One unforgettable night, I wandered into a random karaoke gathering in Ho Chi Minh City. I didn't know the lyrics, but the locals handed me a mic and cheered as I attempted to sing a Vietnamese love song. Let's just say I butchered every note, but their infectious laughter and applause made me feel like a rock star. Moments like these show how karaoke is less about talent and more about building bonds. And if you're not in the mood for karaoke, well, you might need some earplugs because these parties can last well into the night. Six, eating dog or cat meat. This one's controversial, even in Vietnam. Dog and cat meat dishes are part of traditional cuisine in some regions, especially in the north. Historically, these dishes were consumed during special occasions or as a source of protein during hard times. In Vietnam, there are entire streets lined with vendors specializing in dog or cat meat. It's typically grilled, stewed, or even served in hot pots. For some, it's considered a delicacy, while others avoid it due to personal beliefs or changing societal norms. Younger generations in urban areas are increasingly turning away from these practices, influenced by global trends and animal rights campaigns. In America, it's unthinkable and illegal under animal protection laws. Pets like dogs and cats are cherished as family members, making the very idea of consuming them deeply upsetting to most Americans. But before you judge, it's essential to understand the context. Food traditions often reflect survival needs. During times of war or famine, nothing went to waste. In those harsh conditions, eating dog or cat meat was not about choice but necessity. Interestingly, as Vietnam becomes more globalized, this practice is increasingly frowned upon, even within the country. Many younger Vietnamese are advocating for stricter laws to protect these animals, mirroring Western attitudes. Would you try it? Or is this where you draw the line? Let's hear your thoughts in the comments below. Coming up next, fireworks lighting up the night, street food heaven, and the most unusual bus passengers you've ever seen. Stay tuned. Seven fireworks without permits. New Year's Eve in Vietnam is an absolute sensory overload. The sky bursts into a kaleidoscope of colors as fireworks explode in every direction. Here's the twist. Most of these are set off by everyday people, often without permits or safety precautions. In the USA, fireworks are a regulated affair. Unless you're in a state with lenient laws like Texas, setting off fireworks as a non-professional can land you in legal trouble, or at least a hefty fine. Meanwhile, in Vietnam, the approach to fireworks is more celebratory and less restrictive. Tet, or Vietnamese Lunar New Year, is the loudest, brightest, and most chaotic night of the year. Firecrackers pop, children cheer, and the streets are alive with an infectious energy. Families gather on rooftops or open fields to light their own mini displays. There's a sense of freedom and tradition in the air. But here's a word of caution. Not all fireworks are handled safely. Accidents can and do happen, so if you're in Vietnam during Tet, enjoy the spectacle but keep a safe distance. Eight street food on the ground. In Vietnam, the street food scene is like a vibrant, ever-changing food carnival. You'll find everything from steaming bowls of pho to crispy bánh xèo served on tiny plastic stools. These stools are often placed on sidewalks, alleys, or even at the edge of busy roads. The beauty of this culture is the raw simplicity. There are no fancy tablecloths or polished silverware, just incredible flavors, fresh ingredients, and unbeatable prices. Some of the best meals you'll ever eat come from a pot balanced precariously on a portable stove. Contrast this with the USA, where food trucks and stalls must adhere to rigid health codes and zoning regulations. The idea of eating at a makeshift setup next to a bustling highway? Not happening. But trust me, the flavor in Vietnam is unmatched. From the tangy fish sauce in bún cha to the rich broth of pho, every bite tells a story of tradition, resourcefulness, and community. Locals will tell you, the lower the stool, the better the food. Fun fact, the iconic plastic stools became popular because they're lightweight, durable, and easy to stack. Perfect for Vietnam's bustling street food vendors. Nine public transport with livestock. Ever shared a bus ride with a chicken, pig, or goat? In Vietnam's rural areas, this is completely normal. Public buses often double as animal transport, especially in regions where farming is a way of life. Here's how it goes. A farmer boards the bus with a burlap sack. The sack moves, it clucks. You realize you're sitting next to a very vocal chicken. It might sound chaotic, but for locals, it's just another day. In the USA, this would violate countless health, safety, and animal transport laws. Public transport systems are designed for people, and strict rules ensure cleanliness and order. Animals are either prohibited or confined to small, controlled carriers. But in Vietnam, it's all part of the charm. The lines between personal and public spaces blur, creating a unique, albeit noisy, sense of community. And let's be honest, how often do you get to ride a bus with a goat as your seatmate? Feeling shocked yet? Which of these quirks has surprised you the most so far? Let us know in the comments, and don't go anywhere. There's still so much more to uncover about Vietnam's fascinating way of life. Vietnam is a land of contrast and wonder, where traditions collide with modern life. These 9 quirks are just the tip of the iceberg. If you loved this video, smash that like button and hit subscribe to join the Our Channel family. Got a favorite? Or maybe a weird custom from your own travels? Comment below. We'd love to hear your stories. And here's a teaser. Next week, we're uncovering the world's most dangerous festivals. Think running with bulls is crazy? You haven't seen anything yet. See you next time, wanderers.